Really negative subs. Kagawa came off, Royce came off. They couldn't keep the ball anymore, and Liverpool just kind of overrun them, overpowered them, and I think the fans could feel it, and they just had that final punch, that knockout punch that won them the game.
Yeah, I played in a game a long time ago against Newcastle where we won 4-3, where it was literally, we were leading, they were leading, they were leading, and it was just back and forth,
classic,
chance miss, chance miss, chance miss, but you felt, if we keep driving forward, if we keep getting into the danger area, something will fall, something, and...
Dortmund wouldn't have played a game like this. Dortmund would not have played a game like this. And the thing is, Sturridge had a really good impact on the game, but that's a brilliant run from James Milner.
Yeah.
Just puts the defence under pressure, stands it up at the back post, and that's a stunning header from Dejan.
And he talks about a bit of luck, and it is, isn't it? Because Daniel Sturridge miscontrols this. Of course he does. He tries to drag it.
He's onside, though. No, he's fine.
No, he's fine.
Saka gets the advantage.
Look, that's a mistake, but then...
Good awareness from Milner to take the space, isn't it?
It got nicked through Mkhitaryan's legs, but that's a great ball, a great ball. The crowds are very frustrated with James Milner's corners. You can hear that anxiety when he hit the first man time and time again. But in open play, the difficult part, he set up a few beautiful crosses.
Matt, talk about coaching. Two of the best coaches in the game. Lovren's at the back post, virtually on his own. Ramos, as the centre forward who's come on, is marking him. The game was just chaos towards the end. It was just a free-fall, and Liverpool got the best of it. Yeah,
you just couldn't dictate, and you couldn't get your instructions on. Tuchel couldn't get his instructions on for his team. They literally started to play anywhere, wherever the ball was, they were following it, and then running there and trying to close down. And they weren't doing it as a team or together, and Liverpool just pickpocketed them in the end, took them to pieces.
And talking of the message from the manager, Liverpool came out like a different team at the start of the second half, and again it's just a little bit of insight into how much they respond to the words of Jurgen Klopp.
Well, I just think he's one of those managers that motivates the players. You heard them on the pitch. He said, give these fans something to remember forever, to tell your grandkids. And that was the start of it. Origi was Liverpool's best player on the night.
Look at these first touches.
Look at the passes, though. Every pass is forward.
But look at Origi. Make that forward run. Be positive. Get in behind. He does it really so well. Takes it early. Beats Weidenfeller. And I think from that moment on, it's a brilliant ball from Chan.
Great ball by Chan.
They needed that goal. They had 10 shots, 10 opportunities in the first half. Didn't have one on target. But that goal at the start of the second half just gave everybody... in this stadium a bit of belief.
Yeah, whenever they go forward and people turn quickly and move forward with a bit of pace, they always look far more dangerous, and it's when you get a little bit lethargic at the back and start passing it and easy passes into midfield without going anywhere. As soon as you turn and drive forwards at the heart of the defence or the heart of midfield, you cause all kinds of problems, because Liverpool always have plenty of runners in front.
And the greatest sporting stories tend to be about individual brilliance, but also just a wonderful sort of seesaw of emotions. And we had that tonight. When Royce put the ball in the back of the net for Dortmund, it's fair to say the whole of Anfield thought, well, that's it, then it's all over now, 3-1 down, we're done.
Well, look, game over. But, I mean, look, there's so many top players on the football pitch. Look, Hummels just takes the space. It's there. One of the best passing centre-backs in the world of football. But Liverpool are all over the place there. That's far too easy. Royce just runs into the space that vacates. Look at Lovren. He's probably 3 or 4 yards, if you see it there. Look at Royce. Klein can't see him. If Lovren is just almost level with Sacco, he might be able to do something with this ball. He tries to go in and win the ball. And that little difference...
He follows Kagawa in there, doesn't he? And it's an area where he shouldn't go into, Lovren. He has to pass that on to James Milner or somebody. And that's the great thing about it. Liverpool have won 4-3. But when they go back, they can go through the goals that they've conceded and say, that was a poor goal. As much as Dortmund were excellent breaking, they really were. But that was a poor goal to concede. Once you've gone 2-1, you're right in the game. To be lopsided and for Klein to get caught by Royce going out to in and Lovren following inside, it was just a bit too much, And
at 3-1, we all sat here and we looked around, didn't we? And we said, actually, they've gone quiet here. The bubble's been burst. And suddenly Coutinho steps up 9 minutes after that goal went in with this wonderful curling effort. And then suddenly Anfield believed again.
Yeah, well, he opens his body up, Coutinho, and turns really, really quickly. We know he can do that. Look at this turn by him. Opens his body up, one touch. Lovely ball by Milner again. And it was a bit like the Kevin De Bruyne finishing it from Manchester City, using the defenders' bodies to arc the ball away and just bend it in at the far post. It was a lovely strike and a great goal. And suddenly when that went in, the whole place erupted again, and you thought, right, there's loads of time. Let's get back on with it.
And we've spoken a lot this season about what they need here is a really clinical, in-form striker. Well, they found two this evening, the two centre-halves.
The legend that is Mohamed Sissoko.
But it just shows you, sometimes... You know, look at this little block from Lovren. That's great coaching.
I know.
You know, and it just stops. I think it's Piszczek who can't really, that little yard of difference. Look at Piszczek gets there in the end.
But look at Mkhitaryan and is a Ginter. The ball just goes right between them. They're like a set of curtains. They just part. The ball goes right in between them. And Sakho's, look, see, right in between Mkhitaryan and Ginter.
It's good coaching
no,
from
it's
young
brilliant.
clubbers because that's a training ground one. You know, it's come off.
But as you said, Lovren does his job. Sakho's going in the right area.
Yeah.
Actually, the cross wasn't great. The Dortmund players split. It's like you need a little bit of luck to go through. But, you know, it ends up in the back of the net. And, as I said, the legend scored.
And so here we are now, Liverpool in the semi-finals, and they've done it in this way. They're going to carry a real bounce now, aren't they, through to the next round of the Europa League? Because this is keeping their season alive, let's not forget. They're not where they want to be in the Premier League.
Look, I think Liverpool have something really exciting. I think they have an incredible manager. I think they have a lot of good players. You know, I still think they're finding their way with all these players. Origi's just emerged, really, in the last couple of weeks, and he's been exceptional. I think Coutinho, Lallana, they have so many of these star players. Firmino had a strange performance today, kept giving the ball away. But I think Jurgen Klopp's building something very special here. Add a couple players in the summer, and Liverpool are going places.
It's an amazing semi-final. You see the goals that were scored over the two legs in the 4 games. You know, at least 5 or 6 in every single game. And, you know, it's going to be a special semi.
Sometimes that's the way sport is. It's not
we
always...
said that. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. I mean, it was a great interview, wasn't it, considering what they've... Very, very honest. He said you have to take it very honourably and get on with it, and you have to learn from it, and they'll come back stronger next year, because he's a great manager. You can see that. He's got a bright future ahead of him. I love his interviews, like you love Jurgen Klopp's interviews, and the breath of fresh air when you hear them after European nights, and I hope they do really, really well.
But the frustration absolutely crystal clear. They're not just because they won the game, but because they came here. The crowd were phenomenal at the beginning, and they quietened them down. 2 goals so early on, and he knows it was in their hands tonight.
Well, he knew they wouldn't play worse than they did in Dortmund. They're just too good, Dortmund. They've scored so many goals this season on the counter-attack. Look at the space Liverpool leave for Dortmund to just run into. Again, we talked about mistakes, but this team is so good capitalising. That's some ball from Castro, by the way. And he's at the back post of Aubameyang. Really good save from Mignolet. But Liverpool, again, you get careless. In big European nights, we've seen some top teams, but poor in possession. And to leave space like this for top teams to break is just dangerous. And this ball is a stunner. But look at 3v1 kind of at the back there. You know, I
think that's the big thing. It's 3v1.
Yeah.
At the time when the killer pass comes in, the 3v1, they shouldn't be 3v1, they should be 3v3, because Liverpool had the numbers back, but they stopped and started looking at the ball and the players running past them, and they got caught. And again, it's something to work on. We mentioned it in the first leg over in Dortmund. Liverpool have to be far more secure. Poor pass by Milner, I thought, but Firmino has to do more, and he should have brought Royce down. If he didn't bring him down, Klein should have. You have to be cynical in certain games like this. Stop the threat so far away from your goal, because that happens at the highest level. That will happen. Good touch, great ball by Royce, lovely touch by Aubameyang, and he smashes it, virtually toe pokes it past Mignolet, who can't do anything about it.
It's going to be a strange emotion in many ways for Jurgen Klopp, because he's going to be on such a high living head tonight, but he will also know there is so much to improve on from that performance.
Well, I think you've got to take the positives. As much as defensively they were, the fullbacks were far too high, and they put a lot of pressure on the centre-backs to defend in areas which didn't really work out. But I think you've got to take the positives. You know, the emotion, energy that they showed to get back in this game. When they should have been out of sight, Dortmund. They had an opportunity to make it 3, and Mignolet makes a save that absolutely keeps them in the tie.
And possibly the biggest positive from the past week, the past 3 games that they've played, is Divock Origi. Where does this guy's performance leave Daniel Sturridge, Christian Benteke? Where does it leave him?
Well, it leaves the other forwards with a real battle on the hands, because if anything, he was the younger player, the one who was probably 4th in line at the beginning of the season. You would have said Sturridge, even Danny Ings and Christian Benteke were ahead of him, because he was this lad who just come from Lille, albeit Liverpool bought him and he had a season out on loan. And at times he looked a little bit fragile in the Premier League. It looked as if it was hard, but he was, of course, learning the trade in the Premier League. And as Owen rightly said before, in this last 3, 4, 5 weeks, starting at the game in Dortmund, coupled with the weekend's performance against Stoke, he's really burst onto the scene. I know he played well in certain games in the League Cup and stuff like that, but these are massive, massive games, and he's really stood up and been counted.
He's 20.
Yeah.
This is a kid, you know, and